أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله على النبي الكريم نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. سبحانك اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وما توفيقي إلا بالله عليه توكلت إليه أنيب. أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, as usual today, Ramadan 16th or 17th of Ramadan, 1438 years after Hijrah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We shall continue inshallah with our lessons from the verses of the glorious Quran. We stopped at Surah chapter 2, that is Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 67. So inshallah we'll start from there. Bismillah. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذ قال موسى لقومه إن الله يأمركم أن تذبحوا بقرة قالوا أتتخذنا هزوا قال أعوذ بالله أن أكون من الجاهلين. قالوا ادع لنا ربك يبين لنا ما هي قال إنه يقول إنها بقرة لا فارض ولا بكر عوان بين ذلك فافعلوا ما تؤمرون.
ما شاء الله. Alhamdulillah. This yet is another story that is for us to learn lessons from the glorious Quran. And as I said earlier, all these stories in the Quran are not just for storytelling, but rather they contain vital informations that are very important to us as Muslims, and it's for us to learn some lessons there. If you go to the verses of the glorious Quran or the ayats of the glorious Quran or the kind of stories that the glorious Quran is narrating to us, we can derive lessons either from the incidents, what did happen, or from the choice of words that the glorious Quran is using. Sometimes you realize that the words used are special in nature, or there is an information that is very relevant for us that we can derive from the words, or sometimes from the events that did happen. So this is now another event that happened in the life of Banu Israel. As we have been learning right from the beginning of when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started informing us about this group of people called Banu Israel, their attitudes towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, towards their messenger, Nabiuna Musa, and also how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have been dealing with their own situation. Allah ta'ala said, as we also read this yesterday, وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُكُمْ أَن تَذْبَحُوا بَقَرَةً. That you should also remember and also recall an incident that did happen when Musa said to his people. He said to his people, Inna Allah, indeed Allah, Ya'murukum is instructing you, and tadhbahu baqara, that you should go and slaughter a cow. Slaughter a cow. This name Baqarah, it is from this that the surah itself, Surah Al-Baqarah, derived its name. Surah Al-Baqarah is the longest surah in the glorious Quran. The story of the Baqarah means the cow is a very important thing for us to reflect over as Muslims. Allah Ta'ala said, when Musa said to his people, slaughter the cow, what will come to our mind is, why? Why did Musa directed them or instructed them to slaughter the cow? It's an incident that did happen, and they were the ones that asked Musa to give them a way out. And we will come to see the story later. Sometimes in the glorious Quran, Allah might delay a particular narration of the story till later and after discussing probably the lessons that we should get. And sometimes the story will come, then later the lessons will then come later. But here Allah Ta'ala is telling us first the attitude of Banu Israel towards obedience to the instructions of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala before even telling us what did actually happen. But what happened is that they sought for a way out of a problem they found themselves. And when they asked Nabiuna Musa, what is the way out? Allah Ta'ala instructed Nabiuna Musa to tell them that they should slaughter a cow. Ordinarily, they will have carried the instruction, and it suffices that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will now give them the way out, or Allah will choose whatever He wants it to do with them. But Allah Ta'ala said, قَالُوا أَتَتَّخِذُنَا هُزُوًا. They now responded to Musa that, are you mocking at us? Because mockery and ridicule and all these kind of things is their attitude. So they always translate people, just as mentioned earlier, that sometimes people translate other people based on the kind of people they themselves are. If someone is evil, there is that tendency he will see everybody as evil. Or if someone is very funny in his character, there is the tendency that any movement he sees from people, he will begin to think that they are doing as he is doing. So these people, this is the kind of life they live. They always mock at their prophet. They don't take anything serious that is coming from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. They give it a different meaning, different interpretation. They are so deceptive that what they will say is different from what they actually want or what they actually want to do. They will act contrary to their utterances. So their thinking is Musa is trying to do the same thing to them. They asked Musa a way out, and Musa just asked them, go and slaughter a cow. They said, أَتَتَّخِذُنَا خُذُوًا. قَالَ Nabi Musa said, أَعُوذِ بِاللَّهِ أَنْ أَكُونَ مِنَ الْجَاهِلِينَ. أَعُوذِ بِاللَّهِ. He said, I seek refuge in Allah, Allah to protect me, أَنْ أَكُونَ مِنَ الْجَاهِلِينَ, that I will be among the ignorant ones, the jahilin. You see the choice of words that Allah Ta'ala used here, an akuna min al jahilin. Ignorance is not all about inability to read or write, as the glorious Quran has been showing in various places. The inability to read and write, those that cannot read and write are called by a different name in the Quran. They are called ummiyun. They cannot read and write, but that does not mean they are ignorant. Then the one that can, even if he can read and write, but if his actions, his utterances are things that are contrary to knowledge, then he is categorized as a jahil. Scholar says, a jahil huwa alladhi jahil al-amr. He is the one that doesn't actually put knowledge in anything he is doing. فَقَالَ أَوْ عَمِلَ فِيهِ بِدُونَ عِلْمٍ. Whatever he says or he says that or acts in a way that is contrary to knowledge. That is what makes him to be ignorant. Even if he can read and write, but all his actions, all his utterances are going contrary to what is knowledge, then he can be said to be an ignorant person. But al-ummi, someone who cannot read and write, is the person that don't have that skill of reading and writing. But he might do something that is correct and okay. So that action or utterances or whatever cannot be categorized as action that is based on ignorance. So Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is now telling us, Nabiuna Musa is telling them, A'udhu billahi an akuna min al-jahilin. I seek refuge in Allah that I shall not be among those people that are ignorant. That means those people that walk without the guidance of knowledge. Not just those people that cannot read and write. Now when he said that, they now went further and asked Nabiuna Musa something. If you are asked to carry out an instruction, there is no harm for you to further ask for clarification. What will I do? Because what we are going to see here is that they were asking questions and things have been made. The way Allah Ta'ala is responding is that the affair is becoming more difficult to them. Why? Because they were not asking questions that will guide them to implement the instruction. Some people ask questions based on different reasons. Some might ask questions because they want to get an excuse not to implement the instruction itself. And some people might ask questions because they want to make things difficult for others. Some even ask questions because they want to create confusion in the midst of people. While some ask questions because they want to test the level of the knowledge of the person they are asking. So there are different motives that can push someone to ask questions. And we see all these things in the glorious Quran. The Sahaba of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, they used to ask Rasul, but they asked him for clarification, and immediately they asked, Allah Ta'ala will respond to them that this is what they will do, and they will carry out the instruction. But we see what the Jews, the Banu Israel used to do. They usually ask questions not because they want to implement. So when Allah Ta'ala said, Nabiuna Musa instructed them, go and slaughter the cow. قالوا, they said, "Ud'u lana rabbaka yubayyin lana ma hi." We want you, or we are requesting you to ask your Lord on our behalf. Ud'u lana rabbaka. You see the kind of words they were using. Ask your Lord, not our own. Even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Lord of Musa and also their own Lord. And even though Nabiuna Musa have severally before now, as we did followed the lessons earlier, had done so much to show them evidences and proof of Allah's wonders to them, of taking them out of the kind of problem they happen to find themselves, of assisting them, of relieving their worries and whatever. But yet still they address the Lord as the Lord of Musa. So, Ud'u lana rabbaka, ask or request your Lord on our behalf, yubayyin lana ma hi, to explain what kind of cow is that. What is it? What is that cow that we are to slaughter? Qala, Nabiuna Musa said, Innahu yaqulu innaha baqaratun. He says, Innaha baqaratun. It is a kind of cow, la faridun wala bikirun. The cow that is not too old and is not too young. La faridun wala bikirun. It's not too old cow and the cow is not too young. But awanun bayna dhalik. It's a cow that is of middle age. Not too young, not too old. Therefore, with this, فَفْعَلُوا مَا تُؤْمَرُونَ, carry out the instructions now. At least they ask for clarification. Scholars of Islam say, if the time Allah instructed Musa that he should tell them, go and slaughter a cow, any cow they slaughter suffices. Because Allah didn't define the kind of cow they had to slaughter. But by the fact that they sought for further things, Allah Ta'ala now further mention to them that, okay, this is the kind of cow. You see, the chances is being narrowed to them gradually, because now it's not all type of cows. It's a cow that is neither too old nor too young. But the Nabiuna Musa said now, فَفْعَلُوا مَا تُؤْمَرُونَ, carry out the instructions now that Allah Ta'ala has instructed you to carry. What did they say? قالوا
ادع لنا ربك يبين لنا ما لونها قال إنه يقول إنها بقرة صفراء فاقع لونها تسر الناظرين.
قالوا ادع لنا ربك يبين لنا ما لونها. They further asked, because as said, they were finding, either trying to find excuses or not willing to carry out the instruction, just as we see later what Allah Ta'ala said, or because it is their attitude. They have been they have been always trying to ask Musa complicated things. So they are now asking him, what is the color of the cow? What color is it? Is it going to be black? Is it going to be white? What kind of cow in terms of color? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now said, Nabiuna Musa said, he now said, innahu yaqulu innaha baqaratun safara'un, that he says that it is a cow that is yellow. So you see, it's becoming more difficult to them now. It's a cow that is yellow, and that yellow faqi'un lawnuha, the kind of yellow that is so attractive to whoever who want to see it, very bright and clear yellow, tasurru nadhirin, that whoever looks at it will be pleased in looking at it. So you see, the whole thing is becoming more difficult for them now. We tend to understand what from these lessons, that if you are asked to carry out an instruction from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, carry out the instruction to the best you can, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of your shortcomings. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when I instruct you to do something, إِذَا أَمَرْتُكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ, if I instruct you to do something, you should bring it mastata'atum to the best you can. And if I ask you to desist from something, then desist from it completely. But carry out instruction, do the best you can. So now they were asking for further clarification, not because they want to act, but because of the kind of people they are. So Allah Ta'ala said the kind of cow they are to slaughter now is going to be pure yellow cow, that once you look at it, it will be very attractive to the person that is seeing. Yet still they would have carried out this instruction. But of course, it is getting more difficult for them to carry out the instruction now, because how will they look for a yellow cow? It's a unique kind of cow that probably one will have spent the whole of his years on earth not seeing that particular kind of cow. So they now say, قالوا نعم.
قالوا ادع لنا ربك يبين لنا ما هي إن البقرة تشابه علينا وإنا إن شاء الله لمهتدون. قال إنه يقول إنها بقرة لا ذلول تثير الأرض ولا تسقي الحرث مسلمة لا شية فيها. قالوا الآن جئت بالحق فذبحوها وما كانوا يفعلون.
So they further asked further questions to Nabiuna Musa again, because the tale is becoming so difficult for them now. قالوا, they said, ادع لنا ربك يبين لنا ما هي. Ask your Lord on our behalf to explain to us what this cow is actually, because إن البقرة تشابه علينا. The cows that we are all seeing are confusing to us because they look alike. So let's get a clear cut of the kind of cow we are going to actually slaughter. وَإِنَّا إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَمُهْتَدُونَ. Now, by the grace of Allah, we will be guided to carry out the instruction. So you see the choice of words now. Allah Ta'ala is telling us now that after all the difficulties, after whatever, now they are saying, Insha'Allah, by the grace of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And this is what every believer is expected to live his life on. That means, don't do anything without saying Insha'Allah. Unless Allah Ta'ala so permit. وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَاعِلُ ذَلِكَ غَدًا إِلَّا أَنْ يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. Don't dare beat your chest that you carry out any kind of instruction without saying that until Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala so will. If Allah so wish, then that kind of instruction can actually be carried out by you. Because if Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala did not permit, then even if you have the will, you have all what it takes for you to carry out the instruction, will not be able to carry out. So they now said, Inna insha'Allah wa inna insha'Allahu lamuhtadun. Now by the grace of Allah Ta'ala, we shall be among those that will be guided. That means that will do the right thing that is related to guidance. Qala, he now said to them, still in response to that, we also learn something from the messengers, alayhimu salatu wassalam. From what did happen to Nabiuna Musa alayhi salam. You realize right from the beginning, after Nabiuna Musa alayhi salam did deliver them from the kind of punishment they were under Fir'aun, they had been asking series of questions. And any kind of questions they asked Nabiuna Musa, he responded to them. He responded to them in the way that they will be assisted to be out of their problem. They don't get tired of answering questions. So it shows that if you are a leader of people, don't get tired of clarifying issues to them. Sometimes they may ask foolishly, they may ask ignorantly, they may whatever. But any kind of question that comes to you, you'll find ways of assisting those people that are asking the question. Because in one way or the other, someone will benefit from the response. And that is why you see the Al-Arab, the village Arabs used to ask Ar-Rasul very funny questions sometimes, but yet still Ar-Rasul will respond to them, and then it will become something that is relevant or important to others that will come and learn from that. So Nabiuna Musa alayhi salam do ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and whatever Allah ta'ala tells him, he will deliver that kind of answer to the children of Israel. So Nabiuna Musa said now, قَالَ إِنَّهُ يَقُولُ إِنَّهَا بَقَرَةٌ. That Allah ta'ala is saying, the cow that you are going to slaughter is baqaratun la dhalulun tuthiru al-ard. It is a cow that is not a domesticated cow. La dhalulun, it has not been trained tuthiru al-ard, to plow the earth. that means it is not used for plowing in terms of agriculture. And then wala tasqil harf, it is not also a kind of cow that is trained to serve for irrigation. That means to serve, to give water to the plants for irrigation. Musallamatun, it is a kind of cow that is faultless, free without any fault. And la shiyata fiha, a cow that has no any color attached to it. Allah Ta'ala say, قَالُوا الْآنَ جِئْتَ بِالْحَقِّ. They now said at this point, okay, Musa, you have now said the truth. Because now they have said by Allah Ta'ala's grace, they are going to carry out the instruction, and there is that, the instruction is there. So now they say, it is now you have actually spoken the truth. As if what Musa had been telling them is not the truth. This had been all their attitude. Allah Ta'ala said, فَذَبَحُوهَا. At last, they slaughtered that particular cow, وَمَا كَادُوا يَفْعَلُونَ. But they were near not carry out the instruction. They were almost not carry out the instruction because they were not willing. The will is not there, but they carry out the instruction later after all this happens. So Allah Ta'ala is now telling us what did happen. Why were they instructed to slaughter the cow? Why slaughtering the cow? Just as mentioned earlier, Allah delayed the story because of the importance of the information we will get in the kind of attitude they portray to Nabi Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. So the story now follows. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِذْ قَتَلْتُمْ نَفْسًا
وَإِذْ قَتَلْتُمْ نَفْسًا فَادَّارَأْتُمْ فِيهَا وَاللَّهُ مُخْرِجٌ مَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْتُمُونَ فَقُلْنَا اضْرِبُوهُ بِبَعْضِهَا كَذَلِكَ يُحْيِي اللَّهُ الْمَوْتَى وَيُرِيكُمْ آيَاتِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ.
So the incidents, what did happen? Allah Ta'ala said, وَإِذْ قَتَلْتُمْ نَفْسًا فَادَّارَأْتُمْ فِيهَا. Remember when you kill a life and you begin to be pushing, accusing fingers at one another. What did happen was that it was said in the story that there was an elderly Jew and is very rich. He has enough of resources, very, very rich. But then he don't have any children. He is a barren. He doesn't have children. Allah did not bless him to have children. So there is the son of his own brother. So this son now is to inherit from his uncle, because ordinarily, if the father is not alive, but the relation, the brother, be it senior or junior brother, is alive, then the son of the elder or junior brother can inherit. That means can inherit the uncle if the uncle don't have any children at all. And it is there even in our own way of sharing of inheritance in the books that is related to Mawarif. So now this particular youth is so eager. He wants to inherit from the wealth of the brother of his father. So what he did was he planned a secret strategy. He invited the old man that there is a kind of special thing that come, and he wants the old man to escort him there. The old man followed him. He killed and murdered him. He killed his father. Although he's not the one that gave birth to him, but he killed and murdered him. So when he killed him, he now took the corpse silently in the night. He went to the house of one in a particular area, outside the house of one of the Jew. He now placed the corpse there, and he sneaked and went back to his own house in the night and slept. So until the morning, in the morning hours, he just woke up and he started looking. He was searching for his father. That I didn't see my father. He didn't see his father. Before we realized it, people were looking around, and the other people in the other house came out. They saw a corpse lying by their own corridor, trying to find out what did happen. The other people came and met that, and it became a heated problem that they are the ones that killed this particular person. So even including the real killer, he started crying and wailing and shouting that these people have killed his father. These people have killed his father, and whatever. So it nearly brought a very terrible and serious crisis, because they were denying, and the relations of this young chap, they were also accusing the other ones. So it became a heated problem. They were nearly about to start fighting when some among the elderly among them said, look, instead of us to fight and quarrel on an issue that is not so clear, because this one is accusing the others and the others are now saying that they are not, and you don't have any evidence other than you have just found the corpse by the gates of this particular people. So why can't we go to Musa, since he's a prophet and messenger of God, and we all know what has been happening. We have been having problems all alone, and we go to him, he will solve the problem for us. Now we are in this problem. So it means they actually know the value of Musa in their midst. They know who he is, who the kind of person he is, and they know his own contribution to the community. But they are just that kind of people that they are not willing to carry out the instructions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now they resolve, all of them, and said, they all agreed that yes, let us go to Musa and ask him. They all agreed. You know, if someone holds on to integrity and ensure that he lives by those things that are right and correct, even his enemies will sincerely confirm that he is someone who is with so and so kind of integrity. Remember Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, right from his youthful age, right from his childhood age, he grew up among the people of Makkah as who? Muhammadul Amin, the trusted. They never had anything. There is no any reason for them to accuse the Prophet of telling lies. But because he brought a message that looked so strange to them, and they were not willing to obey that kind of message. What kind of message is that? Rasul sallallahu is drawing their attention to life after death, to judgment, to accountability, to all these things. That life is not all about this world. It is not that you just live, you destroy things, you behave anyhow, and you die like that. There is life after death. This became a strange information to them, and they were not willing to answer that, just as Allah Ta'ala is saying in Surah An-Nabai, Amma yatasa'alun anin nabai al-azim. Scholars of Tafsir say this Nabai al-Azim, that great information that Rasul is telling them, there is life after death, there is judgment. It become a news in the city, in the town, that someone is saying after you die, you will be resurrected, you will be interrogated. This sounds strange. When Rasul spent several years inviting the Makkans, the people of Makkah, to accept Islam, they were denied, they were refusing to accept. What the Rasul did? At one time, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam went by the outskirts of the town of Makkah by a mountain, and he made a call, an announcement to call all the people of Makkah together. It was said that nearly all representatives of all the tribes gathered together. They all gathered before Rasul. And Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked them, he said, if I should tell you that behind this mountain there is a huge army, well armed, that is coming to destroy you. You have not seen that army. Will you believe me? They say, we will believe you. Why? Because you've never tested you with lies. You've never been a deceiver. You've never this. And Rasul said, then listen to me. If I cannot deceive you on these things, I cannot deceive you on Allah. It's Allah that sent me to be a messenger to deliver you from this kind of ignorance and life you are living in. None of them could say you are a liar, even if they will not accept the truth of the message. It was only one of them who said, Tabban laka ali hadha jama'atana, who is his relation. Woe unto you. Is it because of this you gathered us? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then revealed that surah, Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tab. So what we are saying by implication is that Rasul was known to be honest, and nobody can question his honesty, even if people will refuse to accept his message. The same thing with Nabiuna Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. They've never known him to be someone who has been dishonest in dealing with them. But yet still they refuse to accept the message brought by Musa because of their attitude. So now they all resolve, let's go to Musa and tell him the story of the incident, what did happen. So it was when they came to Musa and told him that, Musa, this is the problem we are in. We just found an elderly person killed, murdered. And this elderly person is an uncle to this particular young chap that is now crying and is wailing. The other people that the corpse was found by their gates, by their door, in their own, they said they are not the ones. So what do we do to serve, because it is becoming a crisis? So Musa alayhi salatu wasalam supplicated to Allah. Allah said, ask them to, Allah want to try them. Allah will have decreed instantly, isn't it? This is the person that have committed that act. But the issue here in all this is for us to learn lessons. As we used to say earlier, up to now, all these things in the glorious Quran, it's not for us to say, Banu Israel have done this and that. No. It is for us to do what? To learn lessons. How do we do things in our life if things similar to this will be happening to us as human beings? So now it was then that Musa now directed them and said, slaughter a cow. So that was the incident that Allah was telling us. They will have carried out the instruction, because they were the one that had the problems. They were the one that came and met Musa. They were the one that looked for a way out, and he instructed them, do this. They will have just carried out the instruction, and there the problem will be solved. But they later on go ahead to find ways, to find excuses, whatever. So this is what Allah now is telling us at the end part of this story. Allah Ta'ala said, وَإِذْ قَتَلْتُمْ نَفْسًا. Remember when you kill a soul. When one of you kill that particular soul. Allah Ta'ala is now saying when you kill a soul, you kill a life. All of you. Because if a criminal act is done in the midst of people and is not identified, the first point of accusation is to everybody, unless the real culprit is identified. And in the same way, Allah Ta'ala told us, if you kill one soul, it's as if you have killed the entire human being. Just as if you assisted one soul to survive, it's as if you have assisted the entire humanity to survive. So human beings are but one family. They are just the same. So Allah Ta'ala is saying, remember when you kill a soul, you kill a life, فَدَّارَأْتُمْ فِيهَا, and you are accusing one another in respect to this. This one will say, it is the other people. This one will say, it was the other people. But وَاللَّهُ مُخْرِجٌ مَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْتُمُونَ. But Allah is there to reveal what you used to hide, what you have been hiding. The secret will be revealed. Allah Ta'ala brought it in order for that is there hidden, for the one that is so cunning, the one that hides and then commit that particular evil, his secret will be exposed. And Rasul said in one hadith, anything you do, even if it is inside a black dark mountain that is sealed, Allah Ta'ala can bring it out. There is nothing you can do that is hidden. You know, to Allah nothing is hidden, nothing is manifest. Everything is clear to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You only hide in order to deceive others and thinking that you are deceiving Allah. Just as Allah told us about the munafiqun, يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَمَا يَخْدَعُونَ إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُمْ. You can't deceive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that thing that the other person who have committed that wrong is hiding, Allah will expose it. Wallahu mukhrijum ma kuntum taktumun. So Allah instructed them, and that is why they slaughtered that particular cow after all that. When they slaughtered the cow, what did happen? Allah Ta'ala said, فَقُلْ نَضْرِبُوهُ بِبَعْضِهَا كَذَلِكَ يُحْيِي اللَّهُ الْمَوْتَى وَيُرِيكُمْ آيَاتِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. Then after they slaughtered the cow, Allah Ta'ala said, okay, اضربوه ببعضها. اضربوه, that means beat and hit the corpse. ببعضها, with parts of the cow you have slaughtered. You have slaughtered the cow as a dead animal. Take part of the meat, hit this living thing, living human being that people are accusing who killed that particular person. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, اضربوه ببعضها. Hit it with part of that particular animal. كذلك يحيي الله الموتى وَيُرِيكُمْ آيَاتِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. In the same way as you will see what will happen, that is how Allah Ta'ala used to revive the dead. That even after anything is no more alive, Allah Ta'ala can revive it back to life. وَيُرِيكُمْ آيَاتِهِ, and to show you His wonders, His ayat, His signs, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ, so that you can put your sense of reason positively. You can now reason well and appreciate Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So after they slaughtered the cow, they now pick part of the meat of the cow and they hit the corpse. The corpse instantly revived back to life. And the old man revived back to life. Then Nabiuna Musa said, okay, who killed you? He said, it's the son of my brother. He is the one that killed me. Then he now went back and died again. Because Allah decreed that he should just be revived so that the secrets of the person will be exposed. He is the son of my brother that killed me. And then he went back and died. So Allah has done that to show you His ayahs, His signs. You can't hide anything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can't do anything to escape. Only Allah Ta'ala can leave you until you come back to Him for you to judge you subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this incident did happen, and at the end, judgment was now passed to this particular person who actually killed his own father. And he ended up not inheriting the father. He ended up not even surviving to see what to enjoy in the world. And you come to realize another important issue. You shouldn't be in a haste. You shouldn't be in a haste to benefit sometimes from something you have not even struggled and worked for. There are people today that are only looking at their parents. They are waiting for their parents to die so that they inherit their properties. Are there not people like that? There are people like that are just waiting for their parents. And you remember, as we said earlier, what will make you to be who you are is what you do. It's not what your parents do. In the same way, it is not the kind of resources available for your parent that will make you. In this country, you need not to go far. I will not mention names. But there are people that died some years back with huge amount of money that you wonder whether that money can even be counted easily. But now their story is over. Their children are not even nowhere to be found if you are counting people that are rich. They have gone together with their richness. They have died. And the whole thing, even those that have inherited, have come back to their normal life. Some of them have changed friends because they have gotten huge amount of money. Some of them are now going back to their old friends. I have life stories of all these things, but will not mention because of mentioning name. People that are known in this country to be highly rich. You go back to several years in the 70s. There are people in the 70s or 80s even, highly rich in this country, that if you are counting rich people, you count them. Some of you can count them, rich people within those 80s or 70s that die within those periods. That if you are to look at their money, to share it even for zakat, will be enough to take care of so many Muslims in this country. But they died with the money, and the money is nowhere to be found, and even their children are nowhere to be found. So there are a lot of lessons we learn from this. People don't rely on who your parents are. Don't wait that you want to inherit from your parents. We did cite an example here. You look at the Ulul Azmi min ar-Rusul, the major messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, messengers of Allah, Nabiuna Nuh, Nabiuna Ibrahim, Nabiuna Musa, Nabiuna Isa, Nabiuna Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, salawatullahi alayhim ajma'in. Who among them have parents that were rich? Who among them build their life on their parents? Some of them, their parents are not even Muslims. But yet still, they became what they are. Allah told us of Ibrahim, alayhi salatu wasalam. Allah told us of Ibrahim, how his father was. Who is the father of Nabiuna Musa? Who is the father of Nabiuna Nuh? Who is the father of Nabiuna Isa? And the father of Nabiuna Muhammad died even before Nabiuna Muhammad came to the world. But yet still Allah Ta'ala elevated their position. They are the greatest of mankind. So don't rely on who your parents are. Do what you can do to earn the blessings and mercy of Allah Ta'ala. So Allah by this story is now telling us the whole thing is shattered for that particular person that is looking, he wants to be rich by murdering and killing someone. In the same way we learn lessons in our life. Some people can go out of their way to commit so many kind of atrocities in trying to acquire resources. A lot of killings that is going on in the world, you see that so many of these things are done in order to acquire resources. For worldly gains, in order to get money, in order to get land, in order to conquer resources, in order to conquer whatever. When we cited the cases of several wars that have been fought, the First World War, we mentioned about 9 million people being killed. Second World War, about 35 million being killed. Just recent wars that are being fought, go and search. So many battles and wars that is going on across the globe. Innocent life being killed, resources being destroyed, so many other things. Most of these things are for economic gain. And unfortunately for those people fighting these wars, they may end up fighting the war and then dying without even benefiting from anything. So why can't you humble yourself and follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not trade and give what is noble, what is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what is worldly. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us Allah has done that to show his wonders, his ayahs, and for people to put in their reason so that they can reason very well. لعلكم تعقلون. Allah said ثم قست قلوبكم.
ثم قست قلوبكم من بعد ذلك فهي كالحجارة أو أشد قسوة وإن من الحجارة لما يتفجر منه الأنهار وإن منها لما يشقق فيخرج منه الماء وإن منها لما يهبط من خشية الله وما الله بغافل عما تعملون.
Allah Ta'ala told us about yet the kind of people they are. After seeing all these ayats, all these signs, ordinarily they will have submitted to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and become better people. We have seen several ayats that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala have shown them. Several things. Right from the time they were delivered from Fir'aun up to the time now, you see what did happen. If one look at it, why did Allah Ta'ala allow all these things to be happening to Banu Israel? And now the story is being narrated. Because there are a lot of lessons for humanity to learn till the end of time. till the end of time. All these incidents and whatever Allah Ta'ala allowed it to be happening in order for it to serve as a lesson to us, to serve as a lesson to humanity till the end of time. Allah Ta'ala said, ثُمَّ قَصَدْ قُلُوبُكُم مِّن بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ ثُمَّ قَصَدْ قُلُوبُكُم مِّن بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ. Even after that, مِّن بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ, after all this, what happened? أي مِّن بَعْدِ رُؤْيَةِ الْمُعْجِزَاتِ الْبَاهِرَةِ. After seeing all these wonderful miracles, not one, not two, not three, not four, many of the mu'jizat of Nabiuna Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. The first mu'jizat they saw was when Allah Ta'ala relieved them and saved them from Fir'aun. Someone they were so scared to even hear of his name. So scared. Someone that put them under a kind of terrible situation that they never expected that they would escape. They saw clearly how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved them and destroyed their own enemy. They saw it clearly. When they were in the desert, not having food, not having drinks, under intense heat, they have seen how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said al-mannu wa salwa to them. They have seen how Allah ta'ala granted them water when Nabiuna Musa requested. They have seen so many ayats. But yet still, ثُمَّ قَصَدْ قُلُوبُكُم مِّن بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ. Yet still, your hearts become hardened after that. Instead of the heart to become soft, instead of the heart to become lenient, instead of you to become closer to Allah, it becomes hardened. If the heart is hardened and it's become very difficult for the light to come into that particular kind of heart, then the owner of that heart, meaning conscience, is a destroyed person. It is being said that جمود العين من قسوة القلب وقسوة القلب من كثرة الذنوب وكثرة الذنوب من نسيان الموت ونسيان الموت من طول الأمل وطول الأمل من حب الدنيا وحب الدنيا رأس كل خطيئة. What is that thing that will make someone to be so fearless and will commit anything, not minding the consequences? That is Jumud al-Ain. You see there are some youths, after taking so much, you see them, they don't fear committing anything anywhere. What used to make people to develop to that level? Jumud al-Ain, min qaswat al-qalb. It is from the hardened heart. If the heart become hardened, the conscience become darkened and black, then it will make that particular individual to be fearless. He will not feel shy of anything. He will not feel ashamed of committing anything. He will not be remorseful in anything. He will carry out anything and he will not feel anything because of that heart being hardened and being darkened. Allah Ta'ala told us in the glorious Quran, said, "Kalla bal rana ala qulubihim ma kanu yaksibun." The heart can become rusted and darkened because of what people commit and what people do. It was stated in another place that the conscience of the individual is so white and clean. So white and clean. And that is why some people say, ask your conscience. The conscience is so white and clean. What we can say, for example, the heart is so white and clean that it is very open and clear. It doesn't, anything that is negative, very clear, it will say this is bad. But then, committing a sinful act is like a tent, a dead something, like a altar which is dark. By the time you commit sin, that dark spot will be thrown into that particular white conscience. If you commit another sin, another dark spot will be placed there. You commit another sin, another dark spot will be placed there. If you ask for forgiveness sincerely, Allah will wipe away that particular dark spot and it will become clean again. That is the maghfirah or afwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You remember we mentioned the difference between maghfirah and afu. For the afu is for Allah to delete it completely. So when you commit another sin, the dark spot is there. When you ask for Allah forgiveness sincerely, Allah cleans it. But if you continue to be committing the sin and not repenting, the dark spot will be going in there one after the other until a point that the dark spot will cover all the place. It's just like a mirror that you can see the mirror and see yourself. If black spots is going to the mirror one after the other and it's not being cleaned, and at the end the entire mirror will become covered, can you see yourself again? So it has become completely rusted, darkened and hardened. So this is the heart. If it continues to commit sin without repentance, continuously committing evil without coming back to Allah, the heart will become rusted and darkened. And you see that kind of person, even if you preach to him, he will not be remorseful. Anything he hears, it will not touch his mind and he will remain. So, بَلْ رَانَ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبِهِمْ مَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ. So Allah is telling us, the Banu Israel, ثُمَّ قَصَدْ قُلُوبُكُم مِّن بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ. Your heart become hardened, hard and darkened, rusted after all this mu'jizat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah said, فَهِيَ كَالْحِجَارَةِ أَوْ أَشَدُّ قَسْوَةً. Allah said, the heart becomes so hard, like a rock, like a stone. Aw ashaddu qaswa, or even more hard and more harder than the rock. Why? Because Allah Ta'ala said, وَإِنَّ مِنَ الْحِجَارَةِ لَمَا يَتَفَجَّرُ مِنْهُ الْأَنْهَارِ. From among the rocks, there are those rocks that you see water gushing out from the rocks. So it means there are even ways in that particular rocks. وَإِنَّ مِنْهَا لَمَا يَشَّقَّقُ فَيَخْرُجُ مِنْهُ الْمَاءِ. From among the rocks, there are rocks that will crack, and within the crack, you see ways where water can come in, can come out. وَإِنَّ مِنْهَا لَمَا يَهْبِطُ مِنْ خَشْيَةِ اللَّهِ. And among the rocks, there are those rocks that will crack and split it and be destroyed because of the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, but your heart becomes so hard, much more harder than this kind of rock. Meaning no good things can go into that. May Allah protect us. So if someone's heart will become so hard, so darkened, so rusted like that, then he has become someone that you only say, may Allah Ta'ala protect you against his own evil, because you have become an evil person completely. Allah said, وَمَا اللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ أَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. Allah is certainly aware of whatever you do. There is nothing you do that escapes Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So what we are saying here is that Allah is telling us the kind of mind, the kind of heart, the kind of conscience these creatures of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala have, that make them to continuously disobey the instructions of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. By implication, we should do things to make our heart to be soft. If Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala tell us the rock have a way that waters can come out of it, some scholars will say you need to create a way that at least tears can come out of your eyes because of humility and humbleness. As water can come out of the rock, create a way that tears should come out of your eyes because of the kind of feelings you have in your heart of humility, humbleness, and submission to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. That is why in another hadith, An-Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentioned among the 7 people that will be under the shade of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, it is that there will not be any other shade other than the shade of Allah Ta'ala. Among the 7 people, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, رَجُلٌ ذَكَرَ اللَّهَ خَالِيًا فَفَاضَتْ عَيْنَاهُ. Someone who will remember Allah alone in seclusion. Nobody is with him. But because of the kind of mind and heart he has, he will remember Allah Ta'ala, remember the wonders of Allah, remember the favors he has been enjoying, remember his weaknesses, remember so many things. And for Father Aynahu, he will begin to be shedding tears because of fear of Allah Ta'ala. The person that will reach this level of consciousness and fear of Allah, Rasul said Allah will raise him under the shade of Allah Ta'ala. It is that there is no shade other than the shade of Allah. So let's do things that will soften our heart. So many other evil things that is happening in the world is because the heart is so darkened and the heart is so hard. You realize someone killing souls and life, not feeling remorseful, destroying people's properties and not feeling anything. It means the heart has become so dark, so hardened. As it says, قَسْوَةُ الْقَلْبِ مِنْ كَثْرَةِ الذُّنُوبِ. So many sins can make the heart to be hardened. What makes people to commit sin? كَثْرَةُ الذُّنُوبِ مِنْ نِسْيَانِ الْمَوْتِ. People forget about death. They take life that is something that is there for so many years, forgetting that death is there. How many years will you stay in the world? How many people stay in the world for 200 years? How many? How many people? So forgetting that death is not just close by, so people continue committing sin. So كثرة الذنوب من نسيان الموت. What makes people to forget death? وَنِسْيَانُ الْمَوْتِ مِنْ طُولِ الْعَمَلِ. Endless hopes, desires, ambition. People will have an ambition of 200 years, while it remains probably 200 days for them to die. Why not look at now and work for now? Not that you will not save for others to come, but do things that will benefit you, even if you die. There are people that will die and they will remain for the next 3,000 years, if the world will live for 3,000 years. But there are people that will die, and they will die and completely finish in the next few weeks or few years or few days. It depends on which kind of person you are. There are people, now we remember our scholars that died over 1,000 years ago. You mention their name, you begin to see as if they are still alive, or as if they died just a few years ago. Some of them lived for a few number of years. Sometimes you take the example of Imam al-Nawawi, who lived just for 40-something years. He died, he left legacies that up to now you are remembering him. There are people that live with Imam al-Nawawi, nobody knows their history. They are dead because they have not left anything, any legacy. So someone can live for a short period of time and leave legacies that will outlive him for so many years to be remembered for good. Just in the same way, someone can die and people can cry for him for 1 week, for 1 year anniversary, 5 years anniversary, 10 years anniversary. After, if they reach 100 years anniversary, they begin to forget about him, if at all they reach that. So why can't you build something that will outlive you and people will remember you for good? In the same way, others can be remembered for bad. Some people can live also for 100 years, thousands of years, like Pharaoh. They left evil and they are being remembered for evil for so many years. So search yourself, among which people do you want to live? People that will live for a very short period of time, they will die and nobody remembers them? Or people that will live and leave legacies of good that they will be remembered? Or people that will live and leave some evil that they will be remembered for that? The choice is yours. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assist us. So let us do something. Our Rasul mentioned in other places of what we can do to soften our heart. It is also good, it is time and short time. But what are those things to soften our heart? There are so many that Rasul mentioned. Among those things that will make your heart to be soft, our Rasul said, try to wipe the head of an orphan. Yatim. An orphan, try to wipe his head. By the time you are wiping the head of an orphan, your heart will be softened. It is not just wiping the head, or maybe you beat the head or whatever. No, it shows so much. Try to console him. Let him feel at home with you. By the time orphans are feeling at home with you, your heart will be softened. But so many of us now, we have a lot of orphans that are around. Son, even not assisting the orphans, but consuming the wealth of the orphan. Consuming their wealth, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, الذين يأكلون أموال اليتامى ظلما إنما يأكلون في بطونهم نارا وسيصلون سعيرا. Some people consume the wealth of the orphans, not even helping them, while others don't care. So one of the ways that can make your heart to be soft is to be sympathetic, to have that kind of mind of good feelings towards assisting others, especially the orphans. There are so many among them. They don't have parents, and some of them are very intelligent and very good. We see this kind of people, even in our small schools, Islamiyat, we see them. In our schools, we see them. Some of them very intelligent, but then they don't have any support. And at the end, if care is not taken, they will run their life like that. And then you see those that have the whole support, everything at their disposal, misusing all those opportunities. So one of the ways that will make your heart to be soft is try to feel for the orphans, care for them. Another thing that will make your heart to be soft is try to be doing zikr. A lot of zikr, especially zikr in circulation. Zikr that nobody sees you. Zikr that is just between you and Allah. If you do much of this kind of zikr, you and Allah alone, only Allah seeing you, and you reflect and think over what you are saying, your heart will be softened and you will become closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another way that your heart can be softened, attach your mind to the glorious Quran. Attach yourself to the glorious Quran. Not just the recitation of the glorious Quran by saying the beautiful wordings and beautiful words and whatever, and beautiful the sound, but rather the implications of the meanings of the glorious Quran, and it will make your heart to be softened. Another way scholars explain that can make your heart to be softened is read the stories of pious people that passed, and also read the stories of arrogant people that passed. You will come to see so many people that live in a very terrible and arrogant way, and you see the kind of life they ended. And you see people that live with humility and humbleness, and you see the kind of noble life they live, and then they left a legacy that is worth remembering. So what we are saying is there are so many ways you can do that can soften your own heart. But it's very important for us to soften our heart. The heart that is so hard, you don't feel for others. People are crying, you don't mind. People are shouting, you don't mind. People are suffering, you don't mind. This kind of heart is darkened and is hardened and is far away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. And that's why Rasul even used to ask Allah ta'ala to protect his mind from becoming hard and hardened. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala soften our mind and make our mind to be so lenient, and make our mind to be so soft in assimilating, understanding, appreciating, and implementing all these beautiful things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us in the glorious Quran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to the straight path. This person said, Assalamu alaikum. Please, madam, some softwares are not free from the manufacturers, but some people provide those same software for free. Please, what is the stand of getting those free instead of buying them from the manufacturers? So this is well, we are in IT world. If someone creates something for free, he is the one that actually created that for free. Then he has given you for free. But if someone creates something for his own and he said this is what you should pay, you refuse to pay, you then go and stole his own, then you have become a thief. You are stealing something that does not belong to you. So it depends. Let's search those free ones, since they have mentioned they are free, then you use them, they are free. But the ones that have mentioned that you have to pay, you have to pay. And I was made to understand that there are so many laws, guiding all these things. It's because that people are not implementing. So try as much as you can not to take anything that does not belong to you. Anything that does not belong to you. Don't be enticed by so many people are going into something that does not belong to them and they are enjoying. Go to those things that are either free or those things that actually belong to you. I pray Allah Ta'ala will assist us. This one says, Assalamu alaikum. A Muslim who did not use to observe his salat and decided to pay back the salat that have missed in the past, how will he observe it? There are scholarly opinions, different scholarly opinions on this. I used to say there are these kind of opinions, and I still emphasize that some opinions are scholarly even though they are not the same. You don't say that which one is more correct now. It's a scholarly opinion that one might be closer to the right. Some scholars, especially scholars of hadith, are of the opinion that if you deliberately leave a salat, then there is nothing you can do to repay that salat. All you can do is to sincerely repent to Allah Ta'ala. If Allah Ta'ala is so merciful to you, then He forgive you, otherwise He punish you. But nothing you can do to repay back a salat that you have deliberately left missing. Nothing you can do. So in that respect, for those scholars that hold this opinion, if you leave salat deliberately, what you should be doing now is to be remorseful, to always seek for Allah's forgiveness, and to be rededicate yourself now to observing salat in congregation, doing the salat at the right time, with concentration, with humility and khushu. Then that one might assist you for those shortcomings you have earlier to be forgiven. But some scholars, if we come to the school of thought of Malikiya, in the books of Maliki school of thought, you will see that these scholars mention that if you leave salat, whether it is deliberate or it's not deliberate, if truly you are repenting, you repay back all those salats. Repaying back the salat is not a guarantee that Allah has accepted. But you are being remorseful to say, oh Allah Ta'ala, this thing I have left them behind, but Allah, I am now seeking for your forgiveness. Let me do my best to repay them back, and then still go ahead to do the best, and then act positively now and observe the salat. This is the view of the Maliki school of thought, which is the prevalent books of fiqh that we study in this part of the globe. And how do you repay the salat if there are many? They further explain that if you have so many salats and you want to be seen to be at least a serious person, then every day repay back at least 5 days salat every day. 5 days salat every day. That will show that at least you are a serious person. You are willing to repent. You will miss for salat for 1 month or 2 months or 2 years, and now you are remorseful. You want to come back to Allah, and you have taken this scholarly opinion of the Maliki school of thought. Then you pay at least 5 days salat every day. If you do that, you will not be counted among the lazy people. How will you repay 5 days salat? They will not explain. Like now, we are about Salat al-Maghrib, isn't it? So if you finish Salat al-Maghrib of today, after the Salat al-Maghrib, you now stand up. You observe another Salat al-Maghrib, another Salat al-Isha, another Salat al-Subhi, another Salat al-Zuhur, another Salat al-Asr, immediately after Maghrib. You get that? Then you now wait, you see you have finished 1 day Salat after Maghrib. Then after Salat al-Isha, immediately after Salatul Isha, you stand up and bring another Isha. Another Isha. Then after Isha, what next? Salatul Subhi, Salatul Zuhur, Salatul Asr, Salatul Maghrib. Then when you reach Subhi time, immediately after Salatul Subhi, you now observe another what? Salatul Subhi, Salatul Zuhur, Salatul Asr, Salatul Maghrib, Salatul Isha. Then if you come to Salatul Zuhur, immediately after Salatul Zuhur, you then stand up. You bring another Salatul Zuhur, Salatul Asr, Salatul Maghrib, Salatul Isha, Salatul Subhi, Salatul Zuhur. So by the time you do this for 1 day, you see you have repaid 5 days Salat. So they say if you do this at least every day, 5 days Salat, then you are not to be said to be someone who is lazy in repaying back what is on him. You do that, you be remorseful to Allah, ask for his forgiveness, come back closer to him subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you don't know the number of time you have missed this salat, you do to the best you can to the time that you are completely comfortable that by now I have, at least now. So this seems to be more difficult, isn't it? This seems to be more difficult, but this is a scholarly opinion. It is not based on hawa or on desire. I said, if scholars are divided on opinion, you don't say this one is this one is that. Once they are scholarly opinion, they are opinions based on knowledge that probably might be closer to right or a little bit far away from right, but it is not based on desire or on hawa. I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will assist us, guide us and pray and be with us. Inshallah, we'll stop here. As mentioned yesterday, we are discussing lessons from the verses of the glorious Quran. For self-assessment, don't be accusing others. Banu Israel, like those leaders, like those, see yourself. Put yourself in the picture and see what have you been learning and how will you be adjusting your life. This is the essence of the whole lesson. If you can't adjust your life positively, then it means you are not benefiting. And I said earlier, there are a lot of lessons we get from the verses of the glorious Quran. The ayat of Allah. What is ayah? It's a signpost. When you said ayah, it is a signpost. It is something that should make you, after reaching there, you now look back, you look behind. All where the Quran say ayah of Allah. There are things that should make you to reflect. So we have studied several ayats from Surah Al-Fatiha, from the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah till now. If we come, inshallah, by Wednesday, that is by Wednesday, we will open this floor for discussion. If you have something to contribute, what you have learned as a lesson to improve your life, from the verses we have studied till now, we'll be given 3 minutes or so to contribute. But preferably, please, if you have a contribution, forward what you want to contribute. It is good we have interactive sessions in tafsir or in our lessons. Not just one person just talking. Some of you will have one beautiful contribution to offer in some of the things we are discussing, and it might be beneficial to all of us. So inshallah, by Wednesday we'll come, we'll listen to a little contribution from some of you or from our elders. There are a lot of things that we should look at our present situation, our present circumstance, and look at some lessons we can drive. We have seen the attitude of Banu Israel. We have seen what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been doing to them. We have seen the kind of thing Nabiuna Musa have been doing. We have studied Surah Al-Fatiha. We have seen the implication of various verses as explained by our predecessors. How can we put all these things into practice in our community? How can we? Because our community can only become better community if we implement, not if we discuss. Work, implement, practicalize. That is what Allah wants to see, and that is what the messenger will see, and that is what the believers will see. So I pray Allah Ta'ala will assist us. May Allah Ta'ala be with us. And it's not going to be a forum for argument. I know some people will say it will be rowdy. It will not be rowdy. We'll have our elders here, and any one of you that want to contribute, just write your name and what you want to contribute. We'll give you 3 minutes. Please contribute to us so that we learn from one another. I pray Allah Ta'ala will guide us aright. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidul Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidul Majid. اللهم يا إله العالمين يا حي يا قيوم يا أحد الصمد يا من لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه اللهم اجعلنا من عبادك الراشدين اللهم ربنا تقبل صيامنا وقيامنا وركوعنا وسجودنا اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا اللهم ربنا لا تضع لنا في مقامنا هذا ذنبا إلا غفرت ولا هما إلا فرجت ولا دينا إلا قضيت ولا مريضا إلا شفيت ولا ميتا إلا رحمت ولا مبتلا إلا عافيت ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة إلا قضيتها برحمتك يا رب العالمين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وآل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك السلام عليكم السلام عليكم الحمد لله